Hi, I'm Mark Romanowsky, and welcome to our fourth session on stress reduction and introduction to mindfulness. On our last session, we talked about the importance of doing our breathing exercises, diaphragmatic breathing, and also we did an introduction to qigong breathing. So today, we'd like to spend some time doing our breathing exercises, and also talk a little bit about mindfulness, and in our potential next class dealing with yoga, which the qigong breathing will help us quite a bit. So first, again, the diaphragmatic breathing, you want to be in a comfortable position. You could be sitting, you could be lying down, it really doesn't matter. What's important is focusing on the breath. So you want to breathe in through the nostrils and feel the air coming down, filling up the abdomen, letting the abdominal muscles relax and expand, and then breathing out, bringing those stomach muscles all the way in and deeply as you can, and very, very slowly. So if we might, why don't we take a minute, and again, if you want to be in a comfortable position, and you can have your eyes open or your eyes closed, and you want to breathe in through the nose and feel the air coming in. And let the abdomen expand. And let it out and bring the stomach muscles way, way in. The slower, the deeper, the better. So let's practice that. So please continue doing your diaphragmatic breathing. Our minds are always very active, and there'll be times where certain thoughts are going to come into your head while you're doing your breathing. One of the earliest sessions we talked about the stop technique, where you do is stop the thought for a second. T would be take a breath. Again, while you're doing your diaphragmatic breathing, take a breath, just focus on the breath. The O is observe what that thought was. And again, trying to be less judgmental of the thought and trying to be compassionate about the thought. And then P, get back to your breathing. So again, if you have intrusive thoughts that enter your mind while you're doing this, get back to focusing on the breath. So again, take a deep breath, let the stomach expand, and bring it all the way back in. So ideally, if you can do this breath for 10 or 15 minutes a day, that's ideal. The beautiful thing about it is you can do it while you're driving, while you're sitting, while you're standing. If you feel anxious, you can do your deep breathing exercises. Sometimes 1 or 2 deep breaths, just thinking about the breath, will relax you. Now, the qigong breathing is a fair bit different, so that you learn to take the breath in. Again, we talked about the little loop in through the belly button area, the umbilicus, and then you bring the breath down the front of your abdomen, right down to the rectum, gently tightening the rectum, and as you breathe in, and as you breathe out, bringing the air back up to the level in the back at the level of the umbilicus. So again, hands comfortably, one on the other if you like. Our tongue is up behind our top teeth, and our eyes are looking up. So again, sometimes it's less distracted. You're less distracting if your eyes are shut. So let's take a few breaths. And again, slowly bring the air in through the umbilicus down to the rectum. Gently contract the rectum so that you know you're there, and then come back up the back to that same level. So you have to focus a little bit harder sometimes doing the Qigong breathing, and it takes a lot of practice. But again, because you work so hard at it, sometimes you have less distractions that bother you while you're doing the Qigong breathing. So that's the little loop. And again, the bigger loop is we start at the nose and then all the way down to the rectum as we breathe in. And then from the rectum all the way back up right up through the spine, over the head, and then back to the nose. So let's take a few breaths. This takes a lot of breath control. Sometimes you might feel a bit hurried, but it takes practice, practice, practice. And again, where you're focusing quite a bit on the breath, it's really a great way to get away and to relax the mind, because usually you don't think of anything else other than that breathing. We talked about after you're doing your Qigong breathing, particularly if you can do it 5 or 10 minutes, that the Chinese concept is that you're building up energy levels. And so in doing so at the end, you can rub your hands, generate that energy, and then you can give it to yourself, you can give it to others, and certainly in this COVID crisis, it's a great time to generate that energy and give it to loved ones and friends that are on the front lines, helping us be safe where we are in right now. So again, ideally, if you can do the Qigong breathing for 10-15 minutes a day, that's wonderful. It's a great meditation, just like the diaphragmatic breathing. And again, after you're through, you should feel happy to pass on that energy. So please practice. Today, we want to talk a little bit about mindfulness as an introduction. And the basis of mindfulness is that we live in the moment, that this is the most important moment right now, not what happened 2 minutes ago, half an hour ago, 10 days ago, or 1 year ago. And same looking forward. So this is the most important time right now, this moment. And you want to do it with compassion, compassion for yourself and compassion for others. And you also want to be less judgmental, sometimes very difficult in this day and age. But nonetheless, that's the goal of mindfulness. By doing so, you change your tone and the way you look at things and the fact that you're more accepting. And the point of this is, if you do so, you quiet your mind. It's a healthier mind. We know that if you practice mindfulness and the breathing exercises, there's certain parts of the mind that are tremendously affected. They grow, they get bigger, and normally as we get older, things shrink, the brain shrinks, but not so if you practice mindfulness and you exercise and do the other things we talked about for stress reduction. So to wrap up this session, I just want to say that we'd like to go over some yoga stretching exercises, both which you can do in a sitting position as well as a standing and lying position. So, but what helps you is the breath control. So we talked about Qigong breathing, bringing it through the lower abdomen. So now what I'd like you to practice is breathing through the toes and having the air come up and feel it go through the legs, through the thighs, through the abdomen and back, up through the chest and the upper back, up into the shoulders, arms, and to the fingertips. One breath in and just staying there, and then breathe out, feeling the air leave the hands, the arms, the shoulders, the neck, the back, the chest, the abdomen, the lower back, the legs, the lower legs, your feet, all the way back to your toes. Great breath control. You need to focus on what you're doing, but it's going to help the yoga and stretching tremendously. So hope you stay well. Have a great day, and looking forward to seeing you at the next session.